Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Salenti, and it's Thursday, November 14th, 2024. And here are some of today's trends in the news. And remember, the trend is your friend. And we're doing everything we can to give you the trends shaping the future that nobody else in the world does. So, what do we got? The markets. Well, they were down a bit today. Let's see. The Dow was down 207 points. The S&P 0.6, not big. The NASDAQ down 0.64. And the reason being, they say, is that the Fed head, Jerome Powell, said today, quote, "The strength we are currently seeing in the economy gives us the ability to approach our decisions carefully," meaning how they're going to lower interest rates. And before he said that, the street was betting 82.5% earlier in the day that they'd lower them another 25 basis points next month. And now that number's dropped down to 62%. The CPI is up 3.3% for the year. Okay, so let's go back to what Powell said. The strength we are currently seeing in the economy. Strength? Didn't Trump just win the election? And why did he win the election? Well, because as the cover of the Trends Journal this week shows, it's the plantation workers of Slavelandia that are broke. And they say Biden busted them. So there you go. So who's bullshitting? They said the economy's strong, but not according to the people. And again, as I said before, when the Republicans lost the midterms in 2022, you had inflation at 9%. And Biden's poll ratings were in the toilet. But again, it was the abortion issue that wasn't an issue this time. It was the economy, stupid. So I guess what Powell is saying is nothing more than a lot of, yep, because it ain't what's going on. Gold's taking a hit. Again, as I say, nobody could predict the future. There are too many wild cards. Trump coming into office, the whole game changed. He's talking about peace. So the fear of global war, that's gone down a bit. But again, we'll get to that. The people that he's picking are pretty war hawkish. Maybe there'll be some peace in Ukraine, but not in the Middle East. But anyway, when Trump is not, Trump isn't positive a bet for gold. Some of the data here that gold's down 5%. And that's what happened back in 2016 when he got elected, and it bottomed out. It went down 12% before it bottomed. And back then, silver fell 13%. So Trump's not a positive one for gold. And what did Bitcoin do today? Yeah, Bitcoin went down a bit, but it's still way up there. So what? As we went on the air, it's at 87,750. And Brent crude ain't doing great. $72 a barrel, basically. Because the global economy is slowing down. So it goes back to Trump and gold. We believe, and again, we don't know, but we believe that he's going to do what he always does. By their deeds you shall know them. And he's always pushed the Fed to lower interest rates. So if the Fed lowers interest rates, the dollar, which had gotten stronger, goes down. The deeper the dollar falls, the higher gold prices go. End of story. So again, right now it's a guessing game. What's going to go on? And again, what Powell said about the strong economy, credit card debt hits $1.7 trillion. Yep. That's up over 8% from a year ago. Canada faces 15.4% jump in personal insolvencies. We're mentioning this as a global slowdown. A global slowdown. And there was an two articles came out, one in Vogue about the luxury goods market has lost some 50 million consumers this year. And another article came out saying basically luxury good market's facing its first slowdown since the panic of '08. We've been writing about this in your Trends Journal now for over a year. And now it's just making the news. And again, totally out of the news. Not a word about it is the office building bust. Not a word. And that's going to bring down the banks. So people ask, where's the markets going? There are wild cards out there. And will they be played this year? Time will tell. Takeover by Verizon, get shareholder approval. Yep. Wonder Near's deal to acquire Grubhub. BioNTech strikes $950 million China deal. Again, we mention this because all it is the big's getting bigger. In China, by the way, as we said, the business of China's business until, of course, they launched the COVID war and destroyed their economy. But now you got articles coming out in the media about how China is doing so great in South America and how they just built this huge port in Peru. And Peru's made in China megaport to transform trade. That's the Financial Times. Latin American trade is dominated by China. As we say, the business of America's war and the business of China's business. Hey, more money. We're sending more money to Ukraine, more money to Israel. Keep killing those people. Bloody the killing fields. Yep. And by the way, I feel very bad. I very much respect who he is as a man. Always gave me the freedom to say what I wanted and a great staff of people, Alex Jones. So today they say the Onion bought the InfoWars. So very sad. And again, Alex, I would disagree with him on things. And I'd say, Alex, I don't stand with you on Trump. This is going back when he was launching the war against Venezuela, trying to put that guy Guido, Mickey Mouse, Don, whatever jerk shit, and killing of Soleimani in Iran. And Alex Jones said, listen, this is open media. You say what you say. And he's always been very complimentary of me, and so is the staff. So I'm very sad to see what's happened to them. And I wish them all the very best. Again, you don't have to agree with everybody. It's a free world. But on issues of peace and freedom and non-government interference in our life, Alex Jones really fought for that. And as far as the Sandy Hook thing, he admitted he was wrong. And I don't think he should be punished like that. So there you got it. The Onion's taking it over. And, Trump's, I like some of his picks. He just picked RFK Jr. And you know my story with RFK Jr. I spoke with him a number of times, twice. And I had Dennis Kucinich up here as campaign manager before Kucinich left. And I supported RFK Jr. until he supported the Israeli genocide. But on the FDA side, I'm with Kennedy. So I think that's a great pick because you got to call them big pharma. I call them drug dealers that are running the country. So that, to me, that's a positive. And again, think for yourself. That's the way I see it. And don't, you guys, you say, fuck off. If I don't swallow your shit, take it easy. I'm not telling you to believe everything I say. I'm saying this is the way I see it. So take it easy. And then on to the genocidal war that's hardly, it's not talked about by the politicians. At least 15 people have lost their lives in Israeli military aircraft carried out airstrikes. Oh, this is in Damascus, Syria. Innocent people. Yeah, Israel has the right to defend itself. They could kill anybody all over the world they want, just like the United States. And I launched Occupy Peace over a decade ago. I put my money where my heart and mouth is. So all you little fucking warmongers that are running the country near you, fuck off. And anybody that supports these wars, Go over there and fight, or shut your mouth and send your money, your wife, your kids, your transgenders, your dogs, your cats, and everything else. Get the fuck out of here. Speaking of that, this is from New York Times. Trump's Middle East picks signals staunch pro-Israeli policy. Isn't that nice? Pro-genocide policy. Let's see. Mike Huckabee, Dingleberry, a former governor of Arkansas, who's tapped on Tuesday to be the next U.S. ambassador to Israel, has said, quote, there's really no such thing as Palestine, which I've said, that I quoted him, and argued that all the West Bank belongs to Israel. Steve Witkoff was named on Tuesday as the incoming administration's Middle East envoy. Oh, another Jewish guy over there. Oh, yeah. And let's wait and see what they said. That was named, raised vast amounts of money for Mr. Trump's campaign, including from Jewish voters, after the Biden administration stopped shipping some bombs to Israel. Mr. Trump has presented himself as Israel's strongest ally, and analysts believe he is likely to make U.S. foreign policy more favorable to Israel. Quote, these appointments are all Palestinians should need to understand what is coming their way, said Noor Odeh, a Palestinian political analyst. Yep, there's no such thing as the West Bank. Huckleberry said, there's no such thing as settlements. They are communities. They are neighborhoods. They're cities. There's no such thing as calling it an occupation. You know what that is? Total fucking bullshit, you scumbag. It's a violation of the Geneva Convention. It's in violation of Article 242 of the United Nations. They're stealing this land. But I forgot. Here's why. Because Israeli opponents of Palestine's statehood argued that giving the land to Palestinians in the West Bank could pose security threats. And hardliners in Israel's settler community opposed conceding all or parts of the West Bank because they believe it was promised to Jews by God. Okay. All right. God promised you the land? Let's ask God. No, let's ask him. What was what, 3,000 years ago or something? Oh, what, did God die? Oh, you believe in your God making up this story? Oh, God told you then? How about God telling you now? All right? Let's ask God. Come on, God. Show up. And what God do you believe in? Where's the God saying that? You're saying God said this. Hey, if he said it back then, he could say it now. So let's hear from God. Or did God disappear? What bullshit. What arrogant, fucking, murderous bullshit. Yep. The unquestionable historical belonging of the whole land of Israel to the Jewish people, said that guy Smotrich, and congratulations of that Huckleberry head. And Trump picks Tulsi Gabbard. I met Tulsi Gabbard when I did the thing down there in D.C., Rage Against the War Machine. She wasn't very friendly. But anyway, I like her for a lot of her stuff. Like, for instance, she said that Ukraine war, this war and suffering could have easily been avoided if Biden administration, NATO, simply acknowledged Russia's legitimate security concerns. She opposed regime change under in 2020. She staunchly opposed U.S. involvement in Syria. What else? She said that kind of changed her mind on this. Gabbard has repeatedly claimed that Islamism is the greatest threat facing the United States. Oh, I didn't know that. She recently said Hamas's October, this is from antiwar.com, attack on southern Israel, quote, was a stark reminder of the ongoing and long-term threats of Islamist terrorism that continues to spread around the world today. Their goal is to establish a global Islamist caliphate, which must all live under Sharia law. She said, U.S. must stand with Israel. Now, wait a minute. You just talk about the war and suffering in Ukraine. How about the Palestinians that are suffering? How about the atrocities being committed right in front of everybody's eyes? Or you're too blind to see? Again, we write about it in detail in your Trends Journal. Yeah, this is one good for them from the New York Times today. Israel renews brutal cycle of war in North Gaza. Yep. The tanks and armed drones have hammered the area almost daily, displacing 100,000 residents. Only killing a few thousand there. Yep. Yeah. It's just terrible what's going on there. Could you imagine? You look at this little kid. Can you imagine being that parent with the kid like this? Look at this. Look at this. Could you imagine your kid being arms blown off, legs blown off? Oh, you'd live happily ever after. What a bunch of fucking political scumbags these people are. Oh, aid deliveries to Gaza remain no despite U.S. warning. Yeah. In an October 13th letter signed by Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and bullshit Blinken, the United States Secretary of State, they gave Israel 30 days to increase flow of aid or face possible cutoffs of military assistance. It warned that aid shipments into Gaza in September had reached their lowest level at any time since the war. Well, but despite that, the Biden administration said on Tuesday it did not plan to go through with its threat to cut military assistance. Lying fucking pieces of scumbag shit like that Blinken bullshitter. Always blaming no ceasefire on Hamas when it was all Netanyahu. And always saying that a ceasefire is on the near horizon. Murder in the first degree. Let's say, Israel accused of crimes against humanity over forced displacement in Gaza. Oh, that's the Human Rights Watch. We shouldn't believe a word that they say. Yep. Israeli forces killed 47 Palestinians in Gaza over the last 24 hours. Look at this. Push revive for West Bank annexation. This is from today's Wall Street Journal. Since Trump's win, Israeli ministers see an opportunity to control the territory. Stealing more land, slaughtering these people, again, all in violation of the Geneva Convention and Article 242 of the United Nations. If another country did this, if these were Jewish people and the Palestinians were going in there and doing this to them, oh my God, it would be terrible. But the other way around is just fine. Israeli military planning to stay in Gaza through 2025. Yep. And then showing how more stupid shit is going on, Johnson gets Trump's backing to remain House Speaker. Little Mikey Johnson, a little boy of nothing, staying there. Oh, ex-U.S. military officials say UFOs are real. I saw one. Yep, going back in the 1980s, going over the Rhine Cliff Bridge when I was married. Big triangular thing going across the bridge as we were going over it. Pulled over. Watched it. And all of a sudden, a security card comes up. It's like 10 o'clock at night. You get back in your car. I said, look at this thing going slowly across. Look at it. Big triangle coming out of the northeast and heading southwest. He said, those are helicopters flying in formation. Get back in your car. I said, they're not making any noise. It was totally quiet. It was reported in the newspapers. We went over the bridge, there were a load of cars watching it. Everybody saw this. The next day, they said it was the Ulster County National Guard doing a nighttime drill. Total bullshit. And what else? Oh, Archbishop of Canterbury quits over finding an abuse scandal. This is in London. After a damning report concluded that he had failed to pursue a proper investigation into claims of widespread abuse of boys and young men at Christian summer camps. Isn't that nice? Oh, Jesus would be loving you. Again, screwing all these little boys up the ass. This is the Catholic Church. Again, I have nothing to do with it. Again, you know the story, how the nun beat me up, perforated my middle ear, and broke my eardrum because she accused me of talking during prayers and then left me back. So I was the stupidest kid in school. Yeah, there's nothing with God you believe in. The same thing like this Huckleberry clown who claims to be an evangelical Christian. What Christ you're talking about that believes in genocide? Again, all bullshit. All bullshit. And again, all of you people that say God gave you this land, come on, God, step right up and tell the story. You believe there's a God out there? Was he hiding? Let's hear from God. Oh, and also, let's hear from Judge Napolitano. Watch that interview I did with him yesterday, Salenti and the judge. Very important one. So where the market's going, what's next, what to do. It's you got to stay tuned. You got to really analyze what's going on. This is a very, very critical time. Very, very critical time. And I keep saying, when all else fails, they take you to war. Thanks for tuning in.